YouTube! Happy 2022 to everybody, and thank God 2021's over. Of course, had to get us that one last little gut punch. R.I.P. Betty White. Just well, world's coming to an end now. If Betty White dies, the world's coming to an end. Okay, that's it. The world's done. So there's a giant meteor headed toward Earth. They say it's gonna miss, but I don't know. You know, it's bad when in 2022 a meteor hitting the Earth is our optimistic outlook. You know. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm not here to rant about the woes of year past, and not here to look forward to the future, because I really don't. No, what I'm here to do today is talk about a movie that I just saw last night, as a matter of fact. And it's one that you honestly wouldn't have expected me to review, which is Disney's Encanto. I hope I'm saying that right to all of our Spanish-speaking viewers out there. Anyone who does speak it, I apologize if my pronunciation is not great. So, for those of you who don't know, sorry, I bumped my table. But for those of you that don't know, Encanto is available for streaming on Disney Plus now. I don't get out to the theaters as much as I'd like to anymore because of COVID and because of a lot of the theaters closing down and all that. But I got the chance to see it, because when I saw the previews for it, I said, oh, this is kind of a cute movie. You know, this would be something that's a bit of a time waster, if nothing else. So I watched it last night. I'm going to do kind of a good stuff, bad stuff review on this, because there was good stuff in it, there was bad stuff in it. First of all, let's get the number one bad thing out of the way. This should have been a live-action series at best. The plot is literally not movie plot. It is literally a series plot that is crammed into an hour and a half. For those of you that have not seen the movie involves this family in Colombia called the Madrigals. And they were blessed with a miracle that gives each member of their family a special gift. Now, that gift can be super strength, it can be shape-shifting, it can be the ability to talk to animals, to control the weather, what have you. Now comes our main character, Mirabelle, and of course, she's the one member of the family who has no gift. They were all in shock that she didn't get a gift, and but to be fair, they try to keep her a part of the family, because she is a part of the family. She is a member of the Madrigals. Now, that being said, if her journey to find her gift had been the plot, I would have been okay. If it had been that along the way she learns she doesn't need a gift, that would have been okay. If they had gone, there was a villain that was taking away the gifts, and she fights to get the gifts back, that would have been okay. But they didn't go that route. They went the route of, it's a family tragedy. And you know, they go through typical family stuff that only a family can come together. It's typical Disney. I dare say it actually has a more cliched plot than Frozen. Now, that being said, I've said some bad stuff about it. Let me say some good stuff about it. First of all, the music. The music is really good. Lin-Manuel Miranda, if you don't know, he's the guy who did Hamilton. He did In the Heights. He did the music for Mary Poppins Returns. He's basically one of the big Broadway writers. For those of you who don't watch his stuff because of some political BS, seriously, it's music. Get over it. I'm sorry, you cannot like a person's politics but still like their music. Either way. In terms of characters, the characters are great. I love the character of Mirabelle, very strong, independent, Hispanic female. Love the character of Bruno, voiced by John Leguizamo. Even though early in the movie they kind of set him up to be the villain, but he's really not a villain. But John Leguizamo, always knocks it out of the park. The two sisters, Luisa and Isabella. Yes, I bothered to learn these people's names. Get over it. I love the characters. I love their insecurities. I love that they're not perfect, even though one of them is supposed to be effortlessly perfect. I love the rainbow of characters that they have. They have like the little kid who's, he's afraid of what gift he's going to get, and then they have and he's not sure how to use his gift quite yet. They have the shape-changing cousin who's mostly there for comedic value, although I don't feel like they explored his ability quite as much as they should have. They have the aunt who can control the weather. They have the mother who can heal people with meals, which really never went anywhere. And then, of course, there's the matriarch of the family, the abuela, or the grandmother, and they really don't explain what her gift is. They just kind of say, oh, well, everyone in the family has a gift. I guess her gift is that she's the reason there's a miracle at all. The setting, I love the look of this movie. It's very bright, it's very colorful, it makes you feel like you're in a South American country. It does give you that feeling of, community, because it's this really closed off community that depends on the Madrigals for everything. And it looks really good. It's a really good looking movie. And like I said, I love the characters. This should not have been a movie, though. It should have been a series with short 30-minute episodes, or even if you want to go even lower, because a lot of these issues that they bring up in the movie could have been solved in 15-minute episodes. I'll be completely honest. Could have been solved a lot better. Could have been better explored. I feel like they were trying to cram everything into that 1 hour and a half. And honestly, I feel like that's to the movie's detriment. It should have not been a movie. It should have been a series. Should have been a live action series. Now, yes, being in live action limits the amount you can show the gifts. But the point of the movie is that these people are losing their gifts. They are having to learn how to cope with the loss of their special powers. And it's the coming together as a family is what is supposed to help make them better, and what's supposed to make them feel more attached, I guess you could say. And I feel like a series would have explored that better than a movie. My biggest problem with this movie was it felt like it was literally created to be a time waster for parents. It was literally, oh, we gotta get these kids out of the house. How can we do this? Oh, there's a new Disney movie in the... in the theaters. Let's take them to that. That'll pacify them for at least an hour and a half where we can fucking think without having them, you know. And I really hate that because this should have been explored more. I really don't think this was a movie written for kids. I think this was a movie written for teenagers that kids will be like, oh, look at the pretty colors and look at the cute animals and look at the cute characters and this, that, and the other. They are not really there for the kids. They are there dealing with more adolescent and more young adult problems. Mirabelle's dealing with her identity. The older sister, Luisa, is dealing with having so much pressure put on her as being the strong one. Isabella has to deal with the pressures of always being perfect at everything that she does. She has to put that much effort into being perfect. You know, the aunt is neurotic, and her mood affects the weather, so she has to constantly, it's kind of like, you know, she has to keep all of her emotions inside so that she can't cause a hurricane or anything to come out, and, you know, she has to deal with that. The abuela is trying so hard to keep the miracle, but at the same time keep her family. The mother is trying to understand her daughter. The father, who also has no, the people who marry into the family don't get gifts, so they have to deal with that in there. That would have been a good plot point in a show. But in all honesty, I give this movie maybe a 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5 is fair. Just because I liked the characters. The characters were interesting. I liked the design. The design of the movie was very good. And the music. The music was very good. You'll notice that I can't really do that because I have a fine motor skills deficiency. I'm sorry. But, but in all, those are the plus points. The negative points is that this was a movie that the plot should have been a series at best, should have been a live action series, so that the effects wouldn't have outshined the plot. This was literally another run of Frozen where they were focused on showing the effects, they were not focused on making a good story. And it shows. Unfortunately, it shows. So, 3 out of 5. Not a bad movie. It's a good time waster for your kids. It's something to occupy them while you're busy doing whatever at home now that it's streaming on Disney Plus. But is it worth going to the theater to see? I don't think so. It's worth seeing on streaming. So, I give it that. Stream it. Sorry, Glass Reflections, I know that's your thing, but I'm going to start giving some recommendations of whether you should stream it or whether you should watch it in the theater a little bit too. So, that is my first review of 2022. Like I said, we have some thoughts in the works right now that I may be starting up a podcast with my roommate and good friend, Enemy Storm Rage. He is he's about as random as I am sometimes, but you know, I bring a little bit of age and experience. He brings randomness and a deeper knowledge of some stuff that I don't know as much about. So we'll have some conversations in there. We'll have SCP conversations, Marvel versus DC. We may even have conversations that go way off the rails. So, till next time, this is the Venom Samurai signing off, and we'll see you a little bit later on in 2022.